Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Reverend Sharon Renee, spiritual leader for Tyler Unity Center, and welcome to our Sunday pre-recorded service, which is just a really short snippet of what we are going to talk about on Sundays. And I just want to welcome you. And today's topic is the Christ within and the Christ light. So I've had this conversation come up recently about what is the Christ light that we're talking about, what is the Christ within that we talk about in Unity. So we're going to do a little bit of Unity 101, and we always use this candle behind us. We do a lighting of it to represent the Christ light within all of us. So I'm going to explain to you what the Christ light is and how we draw from that. And we learned this from what Jesus did and what Jesus was teaching. And Jesus was teaching that the kingdom of heaven was within us. And with that, it was our peace, the love, the contentment. It's there, and it's there through God, that wonderful divine energy that God runs throughout the universe and into us, and that we are all one with God. So God is just not out here. God's not on a throne. God is within, and we can change our circumstances when we tap into that energy. And that flow of energy is what we consider the Christ within, that Christ light. When we allow that wonderful divine energy from God to flow through us, and we tap into it by listening and applying and living in that state, we move our lives forward. And so think of it this way. So when you have a mother that is a pregnant mother, and the child is within her, that umbilical cord feeds that child. So there's this part that the child, the unborn child, and the mother are separate, but they're not. They're the same. And so we are tethered through this wonderful, I'm going to call it umbilical cord. That's not a word that Unity uses. I'm just trying to use this to explain that we're always fueled by this wonderful divine energy. And it's the Christ consciousness, but the energy, the flow is God, but our awakening to our consciousness is that Christ coming through. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because I want to make sure you understand all of the pieces. So Jesus, when they'd say Jesus Christ, Jesus was the man tapping into the Christ energy, and the Christ was present. But here's the thing, we are all our name Christ. So I am Sharon Christ, you're Sally Christ, you're Susie Christ, you're Ben Christ. That wonderful energy is there. It wasn't Jesus's last name. They didn't even have last names then. It's this divine energy. And this is what Jesus was teaching. This is what other masters were teaching. Buddha, for example, tapping into that wonderful energy of knowing and releasing the illusions and the limitations that we have allowed from the world outside of us. And this is, to me, a great way of explaining our intuition. And when we talk about developing our intuition and our intuitive senses, it's tapping into the God within. It's tapping into that Christ consciousness. And when we're meditating, or if we're in prayer and we hear, go out and do this, that's that wonderful divinity coming through that light saying, this is yours to do. Now, we have a tendency to argue with it, to fight with the ego and the mind. But here's the thing, this wonderful light is never going to tell you to hurt yourself. It's never going to tell you to hurt others. It's not going to lie to you. Now, in your mind, you're going to reason it out. And if you're a list maker, you're going to try to predict what's going to happen if you do something. Here's the thing, go with it. Go with it. And life can change when you do. And it's when we stop and we resist. And this is where we're aligned to that Christ energy. And so again, when we talk about being disaligned, we're missing that mark. When life is chaotic and we're in a lot of drama and we're the victim and everything is bad, we are missing that alignment, and it's there. Everything we need is right there in us. There's no secret that's eluding us, but we have a tendency to block here and to work from the mind and to look out and to look out, and we're always asking for help to show up outside of us. And the wonderful thing about that Christ energy is that if we follow it inside of us, we'll see changes outside of us. And a teacher might appear, or we're led into the right situation. But it's not just about being what I'm going to call a spiritual person or a holy person. It's about being an affluent person. It's about being totally in love with your life and accepting of it, loving and embracing yourself, knowing that you have the choice to change and to grow. And if this isn't working for you, to let it go and to move forward. We're not those victims. So it's not just about going and sitting on a mountain all day. It's about being that living expression of the Christ energy. It's about participating in the physical life, but when we allow that wonderful Christ energy to guide us and to move us first, so think of it as the intuition of holiness, of all that is, and we allow that to lead us, life is better. Life is better. Now that doesn't mean that it's better overnight. And sometimes it takes a while for change to occur. But if you're following that light, there's going to be, no matter what difficulty you might encounter, there's a peace that's within, because you know this energy has your back. And it also, this energy teaches you how to live a better life and how to have more, I don't like to use the word control, but in a way more control, because you're giving it over to God and you're going on faith, and so you're not trying to control it, you're trusting. And so it's a trusting that gives you this opportunity for growth and expansion and being and becoming and unfoldment. So we are here to embrace this wonderful spirituality, to live in the physicality. It's not about escaping, it's about being present and living in that light and in that moment. So I hope that this helps you to understand the Christ light. And if it doesn't, let me know. And if you have other questions that would be like what I call Unity Basics 101, let me know. I'm happy to share with you. And I hope you like our new format today. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.